welcome to Libertarians Drinking Coffee Live. A little bit past 3 p.m. on the East Coast. And yes, it's time for that. I've got my coffee, but then again, I kind of always have my coffee and some water. For those of you who are scared I might get dehydrated, I will not. I have both of them, so we're all good. Yes, today I'm doing what I often do once a week if I can, or at least every couple of weeks, chatting with local libertarians, trying to make a difference in their local communities, trying to do the right thing. And I'm so happy that we have so many who are trying to make impact, not just at the top of the ticket, which is awesome, but also in their local communities, trying to make the most impact possible. And I have someone today, I am very happy, someone who's running for city council in the great state of Ohio, the woman herself, LP candidate, Erin Yoder. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing fantastic.
I am so glad you're giving me a little bit of your afternoon. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me on here. I appreciate it.
And for those of you who want to follow what Erin's doing, you can head over to her website. It is yoder4citycouncil.com. And if you are listening to this, the Yoder is YODER and the number 4 citycouncil.com. Check out what she's doing over there to see, what she's trying to achieve. Erin, what I think struck me as interesting for you is that you have a big focus on family.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not normal. Most of the time people walk in and go, no, we're going to, change the zoning law. I mean, that tends to be the most common reason why people run for city council, but not you, family. Tell me about that.
So I'm a mom. I have 6 kids. My husband and I have a blended family. So I have 3 bio and 3 stepkids, but they're all mine. They're awesome. And then I have 4 grandchildren, which is bizarre because I can't even remember okaying that, but here we are. And then yes. I have 2 dogs.
Oh, so you just wanted to make sure your life was chaos, so you threw some pets on top of that.
Really? I like to juggle, apparently.
There we go. Yes. That's great. But why do you think that's a critical thing to run on? In other words, in your area, are there large families? Are people talking about it? Is the local community helping to break up families? Is the community not supporting families? Why is such a focus on families?
One, I live in a community where there are a lot of families, and I think there are a lot of blended families here as well, to be honest with you.
Yep.
And so for me, my family, it keeps me grounded. They keep me where my roots. This is where everything I have goes into my family. But I'm also one of those people, I'm a Gen Xer. So I'm over here like, okay, kids, you got to do all these things on your own. But you're my
yes,
wife,
Yes, absolutely. I love that. That's great. So then let's move to the next step then. Why run? I mean, there are many ways you could do this. There are many things you could do. You could say, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to focus on my dogs. But you're not. You're deciding to step up and try to make this work in a local race. So 2 questions. They're related. One, why do this? And if so, why city council? Why not president or governor or mayor or whatever, congressman, senator? Why this?
One, we have to start out somewhere. And another thing is, I think that as a woman, I think we are very underrepresented, underrepresented. I can't even talk today. I don't think
underrepresented.
Yep. There we go. I don't feel like we are shown often enough in our communities because we tend to be behind the lines. And a lot of women feel like we don't have the opportunity to run being parents. I think that as my kids were younger, I didn't want to run because I'm going to be honest with you, everybody has skeletons in the closet. And I know that because I put mine there. But I feel like it's very important to own who we are and then try to explain, hey, listen, everybody makes mistakes. So I was afraid for a long time to run because I thought that all of those things would be brought to light. I don't care. But I thought that would impact who I was. And then I hit my 40s and realized, so what? What are you going to say? I lived. That's all I can tell you. I'm a woman. I have kids. I have a blended family. Life has been crazy and it's not always been easy, but here I am. So
I don't think you're the oddball here. I think most people have they have their own story, right? It's not your story, but it's a similar story. Most of us did some stuff we may not be proud of. Most of us did. Or maybe we're proud of, but we got caught. Either one, right? Whatever the case may be, right? Many of us are in blended families. Many of us are divorced or have divorced or are being divorced or whatever. Many of us have multiple situations like that. Many of us have had, lots of issues. I feel like life smacks all of us. It just does.
Mm-hmm.
So
It really does.
Yeah.
But I think being a woman, it's harder because, especially as a mom, we are held to a different standard.
This is a valid point. Yes. The mom part particularly.
It's harder for us to let go of other people's expectations of us in order to be able to run. Actually, what's so funny is when I was having people sign my petition, I actually had a gentleman tell me that he wasn't going to vote for me because I was a woman. And I was like, what?
Wow.
I was so flabbergasted because I thought that was crazy. I thought we were past that, but we are not. And
well, you know what I love about that, to be full with you,
Mm-hmm.
and this may sound terrible, but I would rather him say it out loud right to you rather than hide it and do it anyway.
I just told him, thank you very much and have a wonderful day, and let him go because you can't change that. There is nothing you can do
something
to
else.
change that.
I'm not sure that's 100% true. And hear me out on this. Now, hear me out on this. The fact that you didn't do what he expected you to do might have softened his thoughts.
Maybe.
Right?
Well,
because if you would have said, if you would have yelled at him and go, you misogynist, you're the worst. Oh my God. If you had done that, he'd been like, yeah, that's why I don't like these women. Like you would have reinforced his thing. But you went, okay, thank you. You never know. In his head, he might have been like,
Maybe. I hope that he did because I know who I am, and not everybody is me, of course, but I just, there's a lot that has changed, especially in the last couple years, that has changed things for me. I got really, really ill a couple years ago. I got COVID.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it was really bad. I was actually in the hospital on a ventilator and they didn't think I was going to make it. And here I am. I ended up having to go to rehab and learn how to walk again. And so I get a lot of people that don't know my tenacity. And when nobody thought I was going to make it, I lived. When they didn't think that I would get out of rehab very quick, for that, it's so weird to have to learn how to breathe on your own again. Wild that I had to learn how to swallow, and I don't even get, I look back even now and go, what? But here I am. And so my tenacity is I got out of the hospital really fast. I got out of rehab within 2.5 weeks. They told me a month and I did it anyway. And that is because I'm stubborn and I'm tenacious.
That's not a bad thing. I am happy about that. That's a good thing. That's awesome. So look, if you guys are listening, to my audience, if you guys are listening or watching right now and you like what Erin's talking about, then do me a favor, head on over to yoder4citycouncil.com. See what she's doing. Her who she is right there. If you want to support her, click that donate button and throw her some cash. She's going to need as much money as she can get. Why? She needs things like, she needs signs, she needs bumper stickers, she needs t-shirts, she needs Facebook ads, she needs, palm cards to hand out to people when she's knocking on doors. She needs all of those things. So if you can help her out, head over to yoder4citycouncil.com. If you can donate, please do so. If you live in Ohio, what are you thinking? You got to throw some bucks to live in Ohio. You have to. I mean, come on, it's the ruls, right? You got to help someone make some
even
impact.
$5 or $10 makes a difference because I can do so much with that. Like right now, my husband and I, we don't have a lot of money. We're a working class family. We have 4 kids that still live with us. So, and God, kids are not cheap. So we spend every dollar we have on our life. And so, again, inflation, we're not rich. Seriously, we are not. I drive a minivan. Okay. But
so no, I'm with you completely, but there's something else. You might say to yourself, well, you know what, Erin, I don't have that much money either. No worries. She also needs volunteers. So if you don't have the cash, she needs volunteers. Take a couple seconds. If you live in her area, go out there and walk some doors, knock on some doors with her, go to the next event with her, or you can also be her social media team. You can be out there and like and comment and share and all the things you need. Give her some memes. All those things are helpful if you can. So speaking of that, Erin, if I could, tell me about your race. Is this a nonpartisan race, a partisan race? Who's running? How does this work? Is it like top 2, top 4? How does your city council race work?
So right now, the position, there are 3 positions, and it's for council at large. So that there are four other gentlemen besides myself who are running for the council at large position. One of those is our current mayor, because he can no longer be mayor after
And
this
there's
year.
only one spot or 3 spots?
There are 3 spots.
So top 3 people get it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay.
And so I'm running against a bunch of guys who all know each other really well. And a lot of the community does. I haven't been out a ton in my community. I've been here for 13 years. Part of that reason is because, again, focused on kids, jobs, I've done my share of, I was a Girl Scout leader at one point, I drove bus for the city of Green. I did a lot of that.
I think that's amazing. But there is something, right? There are going to be some people who go, you know what? Maybe we need a woman. There are going to be some people who say that.
Balance.
So you may get some of those votes too, right? You might get some who like your policies and your ideas and your background. Let's get as many of them as we can. Yes. But if we get some people who just go, hey, I want to check a box for a woman. So what? Take the votes, right? I hope you get them all. That'd be amazing.
And I
hope so.
I think it's really important to take a step back. I want people to vote because of who I am, not just because I'm a female. A lot of people don't realize, I don't want this to be a race of male against female, though I love empowering women. I'm not going to lie. But
Erin, I don't care. I want you to win. Take the votes. If there's some people out there who are like, we got to vote for all the women. Good. Yes. As long as you win, that's fine. Take the votes.
I've heard that. I've had people say that to me as well. So they're like, just take the win. I'm like, okay.
Yes. Take the win. Right. I'd rather have someone like you in a position of authority that can move the message the right direction. Who cares? So what? Take it. They're winning on that. The people are voting for the people based upon gender and race and ethnic background and religion and all the time. If for the one time is in your favor, take it.
I will. Absolutely. I will definitely.
Absolutely. Let me grab, if I could, a couple of comments that I popped up. Joel says, won't vote for a woman? Is it still 1955 in Ohio?
I really felt that, when that guy said that to me, I didn't even get mad. I was like, what? And I just kind of laughed and giggled. I said, okay, that's not a problem. Shook his hand and left it alone, because what are you going to say? You can't fight that.
Absolutely, right?
You can't fight that mentality.
Yes. And Scott jumps on board with a bit more forwardness. He says, who cares what's between your legs?
Unfortunately,
agreed.
Some people do, but
some people do. You're right. Some people actually care. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, if you're going to date somebody, okay, that's probably important.
Right.
If I'm going to vote for them, it's not. It means nothing. Absolutely. So, yes.
I just don't understand it. To this day, it still cracks me up because, I just don't understand that mentality.
There we go. Yes. Michael says, go for it. Libertarians of Suffolk County Independents received the 3rd seat in the Silver Lake Town County race. Well, see, some people did in Indiana. He's saying Indiana, Libertarian got the 3rd spot. So, hey.
That's my goal. I want to do that. We actually have quite a few undercover Libertarians in Green. Right now, it is very much a Republican Party content here in Green, which is okay. It's a nonpartisan race, but it is a lot harder to win if you are not necessarily a Republican in this area.
Part of the club. Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
I actually had somebody tell me to switch sides, and I was like, no.
So let me walk down that road then. Give me 2 or 3 of what you think are your top either issues or policies or, now nuts and bolts. We get who you are, right? Okay. We get how you're doing it, but what's some nuts and bolts? What are the policies or issues you're concerned about or you want to work on or repair? 2 or 3 of them.
Okay. So number 1, we have very high taxes where I live at. Part of that is because we also have I think we have the top city in Ohio for roundabouts. Not the top roundabouts. I think we have 14 roundabouts and more going in. So Libertarians love roundabouts. Those are awesome, but they do cost a lot of money. And right now our budget is stretched very much. But there's a lot of fat we can trim too. I was looking over our proposed budget for 2023. And unfortunately, there was a red flag for me. So I have been to city council meetings. I've watched the city council online. I have spoken in front of the city council. I have a problem with budget. I have a problem with...
you like punishing yourself.
Yes. I have 6 kids. Of course I like punishing myself.
Of course you do. Yes, of course. Yes.
But my problem...
So go ahead. I'm sorry. Please keep going.
Well, I was just going to say, one of the things that should never be, I'm not saying the mayor doesn't deserve a good salary. Absolutely. because he does a lot. He really does do a lot for our area. However, you should not have a special car. You should not have a money for a leased vehicle. Drive your own. Write it off like the rest of us do on our taxes. That's how I feel. Like, you should not have a car lease.
So your number one issue actually then is budget. So you can deal with taxation. Is that what
yes, I have a big problem with spending a lot of money on stupid stuff or unnecessary things. Green is large in some ways because this used to be a farming community. So hence the name Yoder, with all that Amish, but we were actually a huge farming community for a very long time, and started out as a township and then became a city, which is awesome. And there's a lot of good things that come with this, because a lot of people have talked about, oh, there's too much progress. Well, progress is progress, and it's going to happen, but you have to figure out how you want that progress to be. Now, another problem that I have is we have way too many home developments going in. That affects our schools. It is taxing our schools so much. That is not extra tax income that we have, because all of that doesn't make any difference. Our schools, I have 5 kids who've gone through Green schools. My other daughter went to a different school. And during that time, I have seen our classes. I was a bus driver, so I can tell you that the bus drivers have more kids on their buses than before.
Hold on. I'm a little confused. Is your issue with the new developments?
Yes.
Is your issue with the school system, or some combination? Yes. I'm not sure where you're
all of the above.
All of it. Okay, that's why. Okay, that's why. Okay, all right.
So the problem is that when you have a lot of housing developments in an area that started off as a small farming community, like our high school, I think this last year, I forget how many kids, I think it was like 300 something that we had for our high school that went across the stage. That's huge. Our area isn't built for that. Our roads are country roads. They're still farm roads. We still have farm equipment that goes down them. Like, we still have huge farms. We have historic farms out here. It's a big deal. And a lot of people don't realize that when the taxes hit those families that have had those for generations, that last family member passes and they're passing it down, they get hit with all that generational tax because nothing was ever put into a trust. So then those families are selling, and they're selling to developments, and those developments are bringing in like 100 or 200 homes. And we also just built like a whole bunch of townhomes that's really close to a roundabout. That's a nightmare roundabout for everybody. Like, it's insane. And they put 200.
Okay, wow. So there's a couple of things you're trying to repair specifically locally in that regard.
Yes.
Okay. So let me ask one more question, if I could.
Yeah.
These are all great ideas. I want you to obviously do well, but you and I both know it's not easy, particularly if you're not part of the club.
Definitely not.
How are you going to make impact? Are you going to be knocking on doors? Are you going to be doing commercials? Are you going to be hanging out at fairs? Like, what's the thing?
I probably won't do commercials, but I am going to be knocking on doors, because I do really well with people face to face, and I'm an honest person. Like, I'm upfront. I know what I'm talking about, and I'm genuine, and people can see that in me. It isn't easy. I don't have a problem working with anybody. I have 6 kids, and so that's blended families.
So you're going to be knocking on doors. That's a big part of what you're doing.
I am.
Your area. I don't know your area at all, obviously. I'm sitting here in New York City. I don't know your area. Is this an area where over the course of between now and election, you can get most of the places, some of them, 50%, 20%?
I can get a lot of them. I want, but see, here's another thing I really want to push for: Gen Xer votes. Unfortunately, we're not voting. We're not getting out there because we want to be left alone to mind our own business. And that is a part of the problem that goes nationwide. And you deal with this too. I know you have when you were running for governor.
Yep. I'm a Gen Xer too.
I know. We're like the libertarian group. We just want to be left alone.
No, I am an older Gen Xer, but I am a Gen Xer. Yes, I am a Gen Xer. So, but yeah, the boomers all vote. They're the voting fools. They vote all day long.
They absolutely do. And now we're pulling in the Gen Z votes because these parents are telling their kids not to vote, but they forget they got to get out there too. And I'm gonna get them. There we go. And this is gonna sound crazy, but I am gonna do. I've never done a TikTok in my life, but good Lord, I'm gonna do one. I want to say one thing. So some of my campaign I do myself, right? All this myself. But my website was done by a really smart young lady. Her name is Delaney Dawson, and she is with the PLCC. So our kids have to go to this school. It's like a trade school, and they have different options that they have. And she actually helped me with my website. She did my pictures. that are professional that are on there. So I went to my daughter's friend. I was like, oh my God, help me. I don't know what I'm doing. And she was like, oh, let me make this for you. And let me do your business cards. And she did a phenomenal job. It's wonderful.
So let me then bring that up. If you guys want to see that website, heading over to it. It's yoder4citycouncil.com. It's the number 4 if you're listening, and Yoder is Yoder. Yoder, check that out, and you can see what she's doing. Check out what she's talking about, the nice pictures and the website and the whole deal. And if you want to support her, please do so. Click that donate button and throw some cash if you got it. 5, 10, 15 bucks. If you can do it ongoing nicely. Also, if you've got some extra cash,
awesome.
if you're in Ohio, I mean, no brainer. If you're not in Ohio, if you just want to help her out, you can. Every little bit counts. Remember, she does need it. She's going to be knocking on doors. She's got to have leave behinds. She's got to have door hangers. She's got to have all those things. As she knocks on those doors, people aren't there. You're going to slide them in the door, put on the door handle, whatever she's going to do. She's going to be able to do that too. Hand them something, a palm card.
Yep.
All these things matter, and they all cost money. So if you can help her out, please do so. It's yoder4citycouncil.com. So if I can, let me move to another piece. You're going to be out there trying. 3 out of 5 shot, not a bad shot at all. But as you know, most of the time, Libertarians don't win.
Yep.
They do sometimes.
But it's nonpartisan, so that is good.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, have you thought of another victory? Like if you don't win, if something else happens, is it still a win? Or is it no, you want this seat, that's the answer?
I do want this seat. I might go for maybe something with the school board, but I would prefer to be on city council because I think that it's a big deal for me. I've spoken in front of them, and the last thing I said to them was, we voted you in and we can vote you right back out. So I meant what I said, and I would really like to change some of the people that are on there because I think that it is time for a different opinion and view.
There we go. Okay. Joel says, LOL, I was thinking that Yoder is an Amish name.
Yeah, we call ourselves the Amish clan, our little
there we
crazy
go.
Family. So yeah.
Scott says German name, isn't it?
Yes. I think it's like Hungarian.
Yoder's Dutch German. It's Dutch and German.
My husband is Hungarian German, so yes.
There we go. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
His family actually was Amish. His dad left the community. So yeah.
What most people don't know is that the Pennsylvania Dutch aren't Dutch. They're German. They're actually Pennsylvania Deutsch. And Deutsch means German. So they're actually not Dutch. They're actually German. Although we call them Pennsylvania Dutch, they're actually German.
We have a lot of them here. They're down in a little bit further south, and then this area is huge for Yoder. So one of the candidates won before based upon his last name. He just put his last name on the signs. And they thought it was his dad. So that this is what I was told. So everybody voted for him thinking they were voting for his dad. And I thought, well, if people don't want to vote for me because I'm a woman, then if I have just my last name, maybe that'll happen.
There we go. I like it.
And it's a very recognizable name.
There was a movie in the 90s. I'm pretty sure it was Eddie Murphy played in it. And it was called Distinguished Gentleman, I think. And in the movie,
I think that is true.
Congressman has the same name as Eddie Murphy.
Oh,
the Congressman dies. Nobody knows that he dies. They don't remember that he dies. So Eddie Murphy runs without showing any pictures. So he just has the congressman's name who died.
Oh, that's funny.
And because so many people don't pay attention to politics, they just, that's the guy we vote for, and you vote for the same guy again. So
that's
Eddie Murphy.
Very true. People do not pay attention to politics. Yes. And I constantly tell people, I want to speak at my daughter's school next year because she's a senior. I'm really, really, really want to get our Gen Zers out there and explain to them that the most important race is not a federal race. It's not the race for the president because he should never be that important. It 100% should be your city where you live and your state where you live, because that's where you pay taxes. That is where they're going to decide what rights you have and what rights you do not. So if you don't like things, get out there and change it.
100%. I could not agree more. You are completely correct. So let's see if I can find this here. Yes, it is called The Distinguished Gentleman. I just see it from 1992. So if anyone's really interested, you can watch it. Yes, he is. He in this fictitious case, he just basically does not show his face, and he runs as it
actually happen though, really, because people really don't pay attention. They have no idea that a lot of times they check boxes just based on whatever.
Yep. And I guess Jerry has watched it and he says, actually legit movie. Correct. Yes, it was a good movie. I still remember it. And that's like 30 years ago. And I said, well, yeah, 30 years ago. And I still remember the movie. So yes, it was actually pretty cute. In any case. So let me ask you, Erin, before we wrap up, anything else we didn't talk about that you want to bring up? Something that I might have missed?
No, I don't. So the one other thing that I wanted to say, that why I'm running is because there are laws that have been put in place last year. For me, I don't think that the city council should necessarily be making laws for our city. I think it should be put in front of our citizens. And the reason is because it is so important that when we word laws, that we think about those laws and how they can be affected, abused, or exploited 15, 20, 30 years from now.
We never think about that, Erin. Right. You are so correct. We never do.
And these laws that we have put in place can be abused by other people. Now, maybe our administration cannot. I'm not saying that they would, and I'm not saying that at all whatsoever about them. But other people can. And so, yes, the laws are great for us right now. But what about the next person that goes into office?
Absolutely.
What happens?
So you're talking more almost like a ballot initiative type, like that?
Actually, yes, I was signing a petition against a particular option that we had. Unfortunately, we didn't get it in on time. That happens. But, I've since getting so sick, I have made a lot of changes in who I am and what I will tolerate and what I will not, and what I'm going to get out there. And I feel like as a mom, I have to get out there because it's my time to stand up for my kids and future and my grandchildren, because if we don't, who will?
Right. Absolutely. No, I agree.
I'm not afraid anymore.
It's us or it's nobody, right? Mm-hmm. It's us or it's nobody. Absolutely.
I have to show my children what they can do and what my grandchildren can do. Like, we can't just sit by. It's not acceptable anymore. We can't just say, well, somebody else will take care of that, because they're not. So if you don't like something, get out there and fix it. It's not somebody else's job. It's ours.
I
think
love
that's
that.
a libertarian thing. Like, a lot of libertarians want to be left alone. Which I'm not going to say I don't. But for me, it has to take a lot for me to get out and be like, okay, I'm done. We need to fix some things. Let's get some stuff done.
Great. Well, I got to say, remember, people, if you're watching and you're liking this, absolutely check out Erin at yoder4citycouncil.com to the best of your ability. See if you can help her out if you can. That's awesome. Alex is on board. He says, hey, let's go, Erin. Show Green what's up. So you got some people, you got some fans out here. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Erin, for giving me a chunk of your afternoon. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on here. Just so you know, I have still am so glad that we got to talk since 2016. Like, you are one of the reasons why I became such a strong libertarian.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. You make my day when you say that. Thank you.
Oh, it's so true, though.
Appreciate it. Everyone else, thank you for watching. I will be back on tomorrow night, actually, with a New York State Assembly member tomorrow. If you want to see me at 7 p.m. then, I will see you all.